Sure, that's fine. That's fine. No problem. We need like a bigger ledger here. I always have problems with.
All right, guys, thanks for coming out. In just a moment or two, Captain Jason Smith, the commanding officer of the homicide unit, is going to give an update on the status of the investigation of the homicide that occurred at 1900 Patterson Avenue over the weekend. I should just advise you in advance that he's not going to get into the specifics of the incident itself beyond what he already said on Monday, but he's going to let you know where we stand at this point in the investigation. So I just want to make sure that we say that now, and I'll turn it over to Captain Smith. Thanks.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. All right, let me start off by first thanking the members of the media for their coverage of the homicide which occurred on Thursday, March 21st at 304 West Chelton Avenue. This is the incident that occurred inside the Del Mar Bar and Lounge. The timely release and airing of video capturing that incident led to numerous tips from the public through our real-time crime center and also phone calls into the homicide unit, which ultimately resulted in the identification and capture of Robert Lumpkin, the person responsible for that heinous act of violence. So thank you. Having said that, I am going to again request your assistance. This past Monday, we discussed the murder of Nicholas Flacco, which occurred on Saturday, March 30th at 1900 Patterson Avenue inside FDR Park. It was through the release of information to and coverage by the various media outlets which again led to a deluge of tips from the public through our real-time crime center. These tips, in conjunction with the hard work by our homicide investigators, led to a suspect being developed. On April 2nd, an arrest warrant was submitted and approved by the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office for Tyquan Atkinson, the individual we believe is responsible for the murder of Nicholas Flacco. I am asking that anyone with information pertaining to the whereabouts of Mr. Atkinson to please contact the Police Department's Homicide Unit at 215-686-3334 or 3335, or the Real-Time Crime Center at 215-686-TIPS. Of course, I would strongly urge Mr. Atkinson to contact an attorney and make arrangements to turn himself in. Before I begin answering questions pertaining to this investigation, I am going to caution everyone that this is still an ongoing investigation, and it also has potential for volatility. I therefore am going to be very guarded with the information I disclose concerning this investigation moving forward. Thank you.
Can we ask you about that first statement right there, lack of volatility? Thank you.
Well, there are two groups of persons on either side, two different camps, if you will. These are mainly juveniles and young adults in their early 20s. They have had encounters before in the past, is my understanding. One group is from Northeast Philadelphia, and the other group is from South Philadelphia. Okay? So, again, the potential for volatility is there.
Do you believe he was the shooter?
Tyquan Atkinson? Yes, sir. He was the shooter.
Was Mr. Flacco part of one of those two groups that you say have a volatile relationship?
Yes, he was.
How do they know each other?
How does the two groups? I can't specifically answer that question.
Are you looking for anyone else in connection to this situation besides the current suspect?
Not as suspects. I would say not at this point in time. There are other persons involved, of course. And again, it was the development of witnesses. There were many persons there who were in a position to observe the incident, and of course some of them eventually came forward, and that's how we were able to put this investigation together.
As far as the reward money, if somebody knows where he is, does that link back to the reward money, or I don't know if there's clarifications there. Like, should we say $20,000 again or 35?
Well, I'm not sure how they.
I don't know if
I'm not sure how the reward money gets sorted out. That's outside of my purview.
That would still be, yes, that would be part of it, because again, the reward is identification and arrest of the person. So we haven't identified, but we still need to arrest them.
We still need to
That was
arrest
something we factor in. I don't want to make a promise.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe
just trying to
check
evaluate, you know,
if
how much
there's
the
a
tip.
reward for a human.
Yeah, I'd have to sit down with the folks that control that aspect of it.
You talk about, well, to group, we have seen in the past where one group targets another. Your words of caution, anything retaliation in this?
My words of caution.
Or any retaliation.
Well, I would urge the two groups to stay far apart. The kids from Northeast Philadelphia, not to venture down into South Philly. I'm sorry, down into South Philly, if they can avoid that.
Do you have any information that Atkinson knew Flacco and targeted him because of this rivalry between the two groups?
No, I don't think that Flacco was targeted by Atkinson for that reason. I think that Atkinson responded to that location as the result of a phone call from a female.
Were they women involved in the altercation?
Can you repeat that?
Were they women involved in the altercation with the different group?
That's correct. She would have been involved in the prior altercations. So basically, you had a girl fight, which turned into a guy fight, and then somebody thought it was a good idea to bring a gun into the situation and resolve the matter that way, which is always a bad idea.
And authorities went out looking for him today, or
I'm sorry?
authorities go out to look for him today? Can you speak to that?
That's correct. Yeah, we went to several locations this morning already. And of course, we put out a patrol alert with his information. But we know that, a lot of times our suspects, their locations are from outside sources, from family members, from friends even. Quite oftentimes, family members, they're concerned for the safety of that individual. And of course, we know it's in their best interest to turn themselves in. I mean, I would hope that Mr. Atkinson does not want to remain a fugitive for the rest of his life.
What about words to people who may be helping him hide out from you? Anything you want to say to anybody who's helping him hide from you?
If anyone's harboring Mr. Atkinson, yeah, that's definitely a bad idea, and charges can be brought against those individuals for obstruction of justice, to be sure.
The female who you said made a phone call, I guess, to Mr. Atkinson, the suspect, are you still looking for that individual? Have you spoken to her?
She's been identified, but she's a juvenile. Okay.
Guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do you mind if I go now?
Yeah.
I'm going to be